My work's called Journey's End, and it's kind of connected to my first piece that I did this year, and the ideas behind it are exploring adversity in life and the benefits that come through that, through overcoming adversity, through getting through hardship, through maturing, through the process of enduring difficult times in life.
My artwork is titled The Family, and it depicts the complexity of feelings and emotions that we individually have and collectively share as a family.
I called it Weeping Woman after Picasso because it is my way of paying homage to Picasso and his Weeping Woman painting that's in the NTV. It was my way of expressing my fears by using my little sister as the model and painting it onto her face.
So I have two pieces, a large-scale biro portrait made up of 200 biros, black and blue. And for art, I have an installation called What a Time to Be Alive.
Well, the piece is entirely done with soft pastels. I use two brands. I use Rembrandt and Art Spectrum soft pastels. It's a self-portrait, so I always found it really challenging trying, because you see yourself every single day, and so drawing yourself, you're gonna be very critical of it because you know what you look like and you want to make sure that you look like yourself. And so I found it very challenging a lot to capture my own likeness in a way that I was satisfied with. Building on tones and getting the right colours and stuff, especially with skin tones. I've only got like 4 skin tone pastels, and to get like dark kind of pinky tones, had to mix like purple and pink and black and brown and all of this stuff and smudge it all together to make the colour that I was looking for. So that happened a lot. I'm heavily inspired by other artists and work and photographers and stuff. Like you see people on Facebook and Instagram and social media all the time who have just vividly stunning stuff. Also people and places and nature and the environment and stuff is really, really cool because people look, there's so minuscule differences between someone. Like they might have a slightly bigger nose, or their cheeks might be a little different, and then all these little differences add up to make people look completely individual and recognisable in their own face, and I reckon that's really, really cool. I read a lot of comic books, I draw a lot of superheroes and stuff, so there's a lot of comic book artists that I'm really, really big fan of. And that kind of works into the realism stuff in terms of, colour palettes and composition and all of that stuff. In terms of style, it's not completely aligned. I'm deferring university this year, hopefully earning as much money as I can this year, saving it up so that I can study at RMIT. I've gotten into Bachelor of Design, Animation and Interactive Media, and then hopefully out of that I can eventually go and do some study in America in cartooning and animation and art, and see where that takes me. But yeah, there's not really any version of my life I can think of that isn't, I'm going to be an artist. It's just, that's just what it is. Figure out a theme that you want to do that you're really passionate about. Figure out a material that you really love working with and mush the two together and work on something that you are really, really having fun with. And that at the end of the year, you'll look back and you go, I am incredibly proud of what I did that year. And that's how I feel, it's amazing, so.
Well, the materials that I used were various warm-coloured acrylic paints. It began with taking a staged photo of my family with the fireplace. I brought it into Adobe Illustrator. I turned it into a vector image which separated the colours, the tones, into blocks. I turned that into an outline, so then that would be projected onto my board, and I would basically just fill in the blanks except add my own style to it, blend each colour into each other. I just love bringing things to life through, I have an idea in the back of my head and then being able to bring it to life in an art form, whether it be on computer, drawing, painting, sculpting, writing music or anything. Viewing your work as it progresses is very fun and enjoyable for me. For 2016, I'm doing communication design at Monash University, but I can still apply many of my art skills in that area. But even at home, I'll just be painting, drawing on the computer, writing music even, just on my own, just for fun. If what you're doing is enjoyable to you, then that's going to be your main driver for getting through Year 12. As complex and as chaotic and challenging as VCE art and studio art may be, if you keep going in that direction of what you're most passionate about, then you're gonna do well.
And I just used fine picks camera to take the photo. I also used QR code, so I filmed it on a time lapse and then I put it on YouTube, and I put QR codes so that you could see the process in full instead of just reading about it in my folio. The painting's about the bombing of Guernica and the loss of innocence, and we're still mourning the loss of innocence even today with the attacks and things like that. So it's my way of kind of expressing my fears through an innocent. I felt the most challenging was having a 2D image and creating it onto a 3D model, but also still keeping it as the exact same as the painting originally is. It was challenging and I had to do a lot of practice, but it took 6 hours to actually paint it onto her face, which she was very patient with me and was very lovely. I'm going to the VCA for photography and I'm really looking forward to it. It should be an amazing course. Mostly just pick a subject that really has a broad subject matter, because then you can use different materials and techniques and not be just restrained to using one. Definitely make it personal. It's a lot easier to create art if you love it and you are passionate about it.
So the piece itself is a commentary, kind of discussing religion and today's society and how often people will blindly follow trends of today in order to be accepted and fit in and all that. For the biro, the starting point was finding an image, a man who I wanted to draw. My dad has a friend who, you know, he's like, oh, this guy looks good, you can draw this guy. So he sent over a photo, and yeah, it was actually just like a crappy little iPhone photo that he sent through, and so I kind of worked with what I had. Time management is actually like key, so you have to have priorities, you know, which piece do I need to get in first, how much time will each take, and kind of allocate your time accordingly. And then also just if you're feeling like, you know, you're sleepy, have a nap, because you'll get more work out of having that little sleep, because you kind of, you know, if you feel like you need one, you probably do.